What Wu didn't realize was that his father's adversaries, seeking revenge for 4 murders his father had been involved in, were hunting anyone connected to Fido or Wu. Meanwhile, THF and 600 Breezy's crew had already tracked locations and armed themselves with an arsenal, ready to unleash chaos. Wu and 051, along with YM Ruthless, the notorious bloodthirsty duo, were completely unaware of the impending danger. At the party that night, the scene was chaotic yet seemingly carefree. People were snapping pictures and live streaming videos of Wu, known as the Meliway General. Some even broadcasted the whereabouts of his beloved brother, unknowingly exposing them to peril. It was clear from the outset, there was no way Wu or 051 could have survived the night unscathed. That's enough for the trailer. The story begins with a revelation that shook the scene. The bodyguard from the bar, someone who had always kept a low profile, somehow inadvertently disclosed his location. This wasn't just any ordinary bodyguard. He was closely affiliated, almost like a shadow, with none other than 600 Breezy, a name that carries weight in the streets. And if that wasn't shocking enough, in an unexpected turn of events, the person responsible for taking 051 Wu's life had finally been apprehended and was now in custody. From the very start, I had a nagging feeling in my gut, an unsettling intuition. How could he possibly have known so much? How could he have been aware of 051 Wu, Drilla, and the entire Young Money crew's movements? It was a grim day in Chicago. The secrecy, one that shielded them, the careful layers of strategy and caution they relied on, all seemed to vanish in an instant. Every hidden connection, every alliance, every covert observation had now been laid bare. There were no more secrets. The truth had fully emerged, and the implications were monumental. At the heart of it all was a bodyguard, a man whose loyalty and alliance with 600 Breezy were so tight that it had ultimately set a chain of events into motion that no one could have foreseen. It was an ordinary evening, seemingly no different from any other. The notorious bloodthirsty 051 Wu, after clocking out from another grueling day of work, those 9 to 5 hours that drained him physically but shaped him in ways no one else could understand, was transitioning into a new chapter of his life. He had recently embraced a career as a technician, channeling his focus into building a stable life for himself and his family. That evening, he returned home, greeted by the warmth and laughter of his children. He held them close, savoring the fleeting moments of normalcy and peace, unaware that fate had a cruel twist waiting just around the corner. Then came the call, a seemingly ordinary call from Drilla, an associate within 051. Drilla was informing him about a party that had been organized that very day, a gathering meant to bring together members of their crew. Wu, unaware of the ominous undercurrents, accepted the invitation, never imagining that this night would mark his last. As the evening unfolded, the usual preparations began. Drilla, true to his reputation, armed himself with firearms, a ritual of protection and readiness that was second nature in their world. Another loyal 051 member, someone who always carried ropes as part of his own readiness measures, also prepared for the night ahead. They meticulously loaded their weapons, ensuring they were ready for any threat, any unforeseen danger. Other members of the Young Money 051 crew did the same, each grabbing their guns, their minds focused on the upcoming gathering. When they finally arrived at the venue, they parked and, as protocol dictated, left their firearms in the car before passing through the security checks. At that point, none of them could have anticipated the betrayal that lurked nearby. The bodyguard, the very man whose connections tied him to 600 Breezy, was already in position, an unseen presence capable of observing and reporting every move. It's important to remember the history here. 600 Breezy had previously been subjected to scrutiny by Wu himself for daring to cross into 051 Young Money territory, a move Wu considered audacious, reckless even. According to Wu, Breezy had been posting provocations online, talking reckless, and behaving as if he could simply walk into Young Money's territory without consequence.
Like, them niggas got dope minds, they do different shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me?